Imagine this. One ordinary morning, humanity wakes up and every scientist on Earth is gone. Not missing, gone. And from that moment on, no new scientist will ever emerge. Humanity is suddenly trapped with the knowledge it already has, but with no one left to expand it. What happens to the world next is far darker than anyone expects. The first year is a year of confusion and denial. Universities fall silent. Research centers shut their doors. Ongoing experiments are abandoned mid-progress. Hospitals struggle to maintain complex treatments as expert oversight disappears. The world still functions. Airplanes fly, power plants run, satellites orbit. But the foundation beneath everything begins to crack. We realize something terrifying. Modern civilization is not built on technology. It's built on people who know how that technology works. Governments scramble to preserve existing knowledge, but without experts, every attempt feels like patching a sinking ship. By the fifth year, the cracks have become fractures. Machines that require regular scientific maintenance begin to fail. Air travel becomes increasingly dangerous, plagued by mechanical issues that nobody truly understands. Some countries ground their entire airline fleets. Pharmaceutical shelves start to empty. We can still manufacture old medicines, but bacteria and viruses evolve. Without new research, old antibiotics lose effectiveness. Diseases once considered minor now become deadly again. Climate research collapses. Storms, floods, and heat waves strike without warning, destroying cities and crops. People don't trust scientific explanations anymore because there's no one left who can provide them. Superstition and misinformation spread faster than truth. Humanity hasn't collapsed, but the decline has unmistakably begun. Now, the world begins to feel the weight of its ignorance. Global communication systems start breaking down. Satellites gradually malfunction and drift into silence. GPS becomes unreliable. Internet outages become the new normal. Medicine regresses to decades-old methods. Routine surgeries become life-threatening due to outdated equipment and lack of expertise. Hospitals operate like shadows of their former selves. Agriculture suffers immensely. Modern farming depends on scientific monitoring of soil, climate, and pests. Without these systems, yields drop. Food shortages spread, and some regions face hunger on a scale unseen in modern times. People cling desperately to old manuals, old textbooks, old recordings, anything that can preserve a tiny piece of lost knowledge. But humanity has stopped advancing. It's now fighting just to hold on to what it once had. Half a century passes. A child born after the scientists disappeared is now an adult and has never lived in a world driven by scientific discovery. Energy production plummets, solar farms degrade, nuclear reactors shut down, and advanced power grids fail beyond repair. Electricity becomes a precious, unreliable resource. Many major cities shrink or become partly abandoned. Humanity reorganizes into smaller, localized communities. Technology still exists, but mostly as relics. Old smartphones, computers, and machines sit unused, not because they don't work, but because no one knows how to fix them when they break. A new kind of dark age emerges, not primitive, but confused. A world where people live among the ruins of a civilization they no longer understand. Superstitions replace science. Stories of the old world sound like myths. And worst of all, no one realizes how far humanity has fallen. A century after the disappearance of scientists, Earth has become a different planet. The grandchildren of today's generation have never heard scientific explanations for how the world works. Space travel, medical breakthroughs, artificial intelligence, quantum research, all of it belongs to a forgotten age. Satellites are silent debris circling the planet. Airplanes are museum pieces. Hospitals are simple care centers. With limited tools, civilization is stuck somewhere between the 19th century and the remnants of the 21st. The climate is hotter, harsher, and more unpredictable. Pandemics are more frequent and more deadly. Human lifespan drops as medical science fades into history. And in a bittersweet twist, humanity finally understands the importance of science just when it's too late to rebuild it. Without scientists, the world did not end suddenly. It simply faded, slipping slowly into darkness, decade after decade. Science isn't just a profession, it's the engine of human progress. And when that engine stops, civilization doesn't fall at once. It dissolves.